Okay, here we are with emergency roadside tire changing. Okay, so I've got the jack, unfortunately, the one that comes with the car, already under here at the pinch point, and I've kind of tightened it up so it's holding it in place. Always make sure that your car is in park or in gear and that your emergency brake is on. That way the tire has no way to spin. Okay, our little tool that comes with our car looks like this. We've seen it in use for the jack stand already, but what you might not have noticed on this one is that it has this little hook at the top. Okay, this little hook is used for removing the hubcap on this car. Notice that you can't get to the lug nuts on this car, so we use that little hook, stick it in there, and pry that right off. Okay, now that we've got our hubcap off, exposing our lug nuts, you want to use the tire iron to break loose the lug nuts before you get the vehicle off the ground. If you try to break these loose once it's in the air, the tire will just simply spin on you. Sometimes if you need extra leverage, you can line this up like this and then gently apply pressure here to get it to go. Be very careful when doing that because otherwise you'll end up falling on your butt before you know it. Alright, now we've broken them loose and we don't want to take them off yet because if we do, the tire will fall off damaging the studs. So we're going to continue jacking up our car. Okay, so using the jack that came with the car, we finished jacking this up in the air. We're up in the air just enough to make clearance underneath the tire. We don't really need to get it too far in the air. Now remember, without a jack stand under the car, you don't want to climb under the vehicle. So now, with these loose already, you should simply be able to take these off. You can use the tire iron if you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I've now taken off all my lug nuts. Just going to take off the last one here. Take your tire, pull your tire off, which will probably be flat if you're in a roadside repair, and set it aside. Go to the back of the car, get your spare tire out of the back, come forward and mount it on the car. In this case, I'm just going to put the same tire back on it for demonstration purposes. So bring our tire back over. Try to line up the studs with the bolts a little bit so that you can see them through there before you try to pick up the tire. When you're putting the lug nuts back on the tire, notice that you've got a square flat side and a tapered side here. The tapered side goes towards the wheel. This helps align the tire on the studs and keeps it nice and straight. Put the tapered side in, and you always start all your lug nuts by hand. Never use an air gun or never stick them in the end of the ratchet and then try to put them on. Always start them by hand. It'll save you from stripping them out. Before we lower the vehicle back down, we want to make sure that these are all finger tight. So we're going to just take a little bit of time here to tighten these all up. Just finger tight. That way the tire is aligned before it actually hits the ground. If you don't tighten them up first and you put it down, the tire will be off center and it will not roll right when you get the car started again. Okay, so we've now lowered the car back down to the ground and we're going to tighten up all the lug nuts. When you tighten these up, you want to put just a good pull on them and make sure you use a cross pattern when you are tightening them up. So I tighten this one, now I'm going to move down to this one. Put a little pull on them. Okay, and then I'm going to go back one more time and put one last tug on them. We take our hubcap, we check to make sure if there's an alignment on this one. There isn't. This one just snaps on. Give it a good solid whack, and we're good to drive down the road. So that's been emergency roadside tire change.